Conscious Collaboration brings together entrepreneurs, change makers, and thought leaders. We aim to highlight the people that embody the idea of aligned mind, body, and business. Each week, we share, discuss, and learn from the various experiences and ideas of our guest experts. Through our discovery, we find a path to an aligned mind, body, and business.
Hi, I'm Lisa.
And I'm Emily. And we are the Conscious Collaboration. What's up, everybody? What's up, Lisa? How you doing?
Oh gosh, sometimes I just want to it just makes me laugh every time we're doing this because I think of being a news anchor and
yes. Kicking it over to you, Lisa. How is your Mercury retrograde going? That's actually what we're talking about today.
Oh my gosh.
Mercury retrograde, so mainstream now that, by the way, CNN is talking about it. So yeah. We're going to go ahead and jump on that train. And I don't know. I feel pretty okay for this one, but in general, I think people have made it into this kind of like crazy thing, like, oh my gosh, everything's going to go wrong. And it can, but it doesn't have to be a bad thing, right? If you kind of understand what the energy is and what it's affecting, and you can at least temper the sort of potentially negative effects that it might have by just keeping that in mind as you go about your day to day. But Mercury, as astrology sees it, is the planet that governs technology and communication. So when it's in retrograde, or as I understand it, I'm not an astrologer at all, but as I understand it, it's like the appearance of moving backwards. So just think of it as like moving backwards. So you can have blockages or issues in those areas of life, particularly communication and technology. So a lot of times people will find that they're having tech glitches all over the place, or cars breaking down, that kind of thing. And conversations, communications can be affected for sure. It may be a time to sort of hold off on really heated conversations, or just to give yourself and others grace for any miscommunications or misunderstandings that may happen in that time period.
Yeah, it's so crazy. I try not to put a lot of stock into it, but
it can be a self-fulfilling prophecy too. If you're like, oh my God, it's going to be so shitty. Like, well, it probably is.
Yeah. But I mean, it's also just, even if it is a self-fulfilling prophecy, and I think it's just, everything is cyclical. We know that there's seasons to everything. So there's going to be times that are not as smooth. And so regardless, there's a lesson in preparing and trying to work through these Mercury and retrogrades in and ever. So it's just a good opportunity to check in for yourself, to think, like, dot all the I's, cross all the T's in your contracts. If you're buying a house or, doing anything big there. A lot of people are this time of year. And also in terms of, relationships and communications, regardless of how true it is, it's just a good time to be like, should I send this email? Or do I need to reread it one more time and make sure it's not emotionally charged? And maybe this is something that should be spoken about and not written or in an email or a text. So,
and I think you can use it to your benefit to some degree as well. This came from a friend of mine who is an astrologer. She's butterfly.medicine on Instagram. She's awesome.
Ooh, yeah.
But she explained retrogrades to me as a time to really look inward on, whatever the planet's governing sort of aspects are. So, you can look inward regarding communications and really enhance your self-development in that area during that time.
Yeah, because generally what's around us is within us. So if we're not feeling really all that stable within our in our inner selves, then we're saying, okay, now my relationships are screwy, my electronics aren't working. What kind of retrograde is going on here? But I will say I've had, as a big part of my business revolves around these virtual Zoom meetings, every day. And every day there's been some sort of glitch and someone has said, okay, Mercury in retrograde. So they're giving everybody a pass, but people have been kicked out of meetings this week and they can't get back in. And
so funny, you get a Zoom pass for Mercury retrograde.
Like, I'm sorry you missed the board meeting because of Mercury in retrograde. It's okay. But I mean, it really has been like that. And then also like I've been trying to complete a bunch of web forms this week because of travel. And oh my gosh, like traveling during Mercury in retrograde, but trying to complete a bunch of things online. And, like when you go through all like the filling out the forms and then it kicks you out and you have to start again. Like, what is that? So that's been happening this week. And so I've been doing a lot of going within and why am I manifesting these things externally? But what I can do right now is I'm going to check in on everybody's energy during this period and see what in the collective we can draw upon. And then let's resolve it in this little talk that we're doing together. And I know you're familiar, Emily, with this process. I think it'll be fun. So everybody out there who's surfing through this Mercury in retrograde, whatever you're experiencing, hold that in your intention. I'm going to check in and see, and you can let us know if this resonates. Again, so whenever I do these, if it resonates with you, cool. This could be, just entertaining for you. If it doesn't resonate, you can leave it behind. But generally, I find these very relatable, and this is working with the I Ching. So.
And you're going to do the I Ching and you're going to run your energetic software.
I will.
And just let me upgrade you. Yes.
Yes. If you want to come up with a theme song, that would be cool too.
Well, I didn't come up with that. That's Beyonce. I can't.
Oh, it's Beyonce? Oh, gosh. We're going to have to write her a letter.
I think I would get called out on that one.
So I had a couple cards jump out. I'm using cards to do this divination. But these cards that jumped out, they didn't come out singularly. They came out together and it was centered in truth and holding together. And they keep reappearing during this time. So I'm going to keep going until we find out for this collective what the energy is. But it's interesting. I can do these. There's many different combinations and they'll repeat for everybody. So
and this is valid no matter when you're listening to this.
Yes, whenever you receive this, even if it's not Mercury in retrograde, when you receive this in your streaming it may be relevant to you at the time that you need to receive this. So the hexagram that resulted first is the current energy of hexagram 52, which is keeping still. We were just talking about that, mountain above and mountain
my biggest
below.
challenge.
Mountain energy, like mountains, they're representative of wisdom and knowledge also, but keeping still is the current energy. And then this is just fighting me. Everything wants to come out. So the next energy that we're looking at is endurance. And that's hexagram 32. And it's the energy of thunder above and wind below. So we're in the current energy of keeping still. So, and the keeping still is really uncomfortable for many because we always want to go and achieve everything. And we feel like that requires a lot of motion. But sometimes, as we talked about in being the pumpkin, sometimes just being still and just being and allowing ourselves to repair is the best thing to do. And this energy reminds us that regular periods of rest are important for development and evolution. The most relaxed person may not be the one who sleeps 12 hours a day, but the one who knows how to grab a nap while cruising at 600 miles per hour at 35,000 feet. I always, when I read this,
Yay for plane naps.
Plane naps. I always think about people too when I read this hexagram. You always tell me the story too, like how those people, how can they relax when they're sleeping in a hammock at the top of a mountain?
Oh my God, the rock climber people. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I don't get it. So it says, consider the spine, which serves as a switchboard for all of the nerves of the body that mediate movement.
Mhm.
When the spine is kept flexible and healthy through proper rest and relaxation,
And fascia-based movements.
Yes, plug.
Yeah.
Active movement can be undertaken without strain. But when the spine is held erect in a balanced sitting posture, the inner balancing of meditation can take place.
Mm.
Ooh, that's so
We just talked about that a little bit, didn't we?
Oh,
Check
yeah.
out our other episode on mind body alignment, guys.
aligning stuff. Treat your vitality as if it were a candle in the wind. Protect it as though if it were the only light in a dark forest on a moonless night. Avoid external conditions that threaten to snuff out this precious flame. So call a timeout, relax, take your shoes off, and sit a spell. Yeah. So this
going internal, like
internal, meditate.
Yeah.
So yes, that was a premonition that you had at the top of this conversation.
Ooh,
so the changing energy in the higher, the heaven sense or divine, just what the energies that connect us all, that energy points to the ability to maintain stillness and composure in the midst of a chaotic world.
Yes.
And that's the most noble achievement. And we talk a lot about that. The line, the field of feng shui that I'm most involved with is Black sect Tibetan Buddhist feng shui. And so that's the most noble that's the most noble achievement of all, is if you can just
thrive in chaos.
Yeah.
Because the world doesn't stop moving, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And not everybody does their work. And so sometimes, you're gonna have to be that little Buddhist monk in the middle of like a bunch of screaming crazy people.
Yeah, a meteor shooting towards you.
Yeah. Everything's fine.
When positive acceptance of all life has been achieved, what harm can follow? Peace and good fortune will await you. So that's the energy that if you can think about yourself and whatever, visualize yourself being that calmness amongst the chaos, it's going to be most empowering to you right now. Mm-hmm. It talks about rigidity is not desired at this time. So when we're rigid, for example, it's not going to allow you to be as like poetic in your motion and to allow and to receive. So
and to give grace for miscommunications, right?
Yeah,
if you're rigid about outcomes and things.
Yeah. Maintaining great sleep at this time that's important too. So note to self, no all-nighters trying to get things done. Yes. And that's true too, because we can't create from that place of being depleted.
Yeah.
If you find yourself being led by someone going down a misguided path, leave them to their own fate. When the road leads to nowhere, slow down to a standstill. Don't go running off the cliff. If really, really keep your wits about you. And certainly if you're in joint ventures and someone is not operating in good faith or taking the shortcut, you want to make sure that you maintain your integrity in whatever process there is and go at your own speed. So I think that's really good advice for this time. And then it just talks about the energy. It's right along what we've been talking about.
I always say this, but like this shit works. We were drawing cards on Mercury retrograde, and that whole thing was about, thriving in chaos and being cool when the world around you is blowing up.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what you got to do.
Yeah. So like onward looking, like this endurance that we're talking about and being able to make it through the other side of chaos is going to be through nourishment of the self and maintaining a strong sense of purpose. And it talks about thinking of yourself as like a long distance runner, and they don't run rigidly. They're adjusting their form, whether they're going up or downhill. So really like being able to shift gears, you don't need to like keep forcibly plowing through everything. Be very durable, flexible, and looking for dynamically adapting to the relationships around you. So listen to cues from others. If people aren't ready to listen to your ideas, or if you feel like you have to make a strong statement, check in with someone and make sure they're ready to receive that information. So that will help smooth over any miscommunication. So endurance isn't just about like having the right amount of energy or, having all the fuel to the fire. It's also being able to adapt and weather to adjust to the seasons.
Like in martial arts, just going with the flow so that you're not wasting energy.
Yeah. Yeah. It talks about
resistance wastes energy.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So like thinking again about the whole running analogy too, there's this book that I read early on and when I was a runner, and it was called like The Chi of Running, I think it was. But it was about like how you can, just by shifting your weight and adjusting your form, the rest of your body falls in suit. And it's like the momentum is created just by these like subtle shifts in your form. It's not by forcible movement or like training harder to have stronger legs or more flexible hips or whatever.
It's very Tai Chi.
Yes. Yeah. So I think this is really good information. I want to, while we're talking a little bit more about this, I'm going to run a check on and I'll share the screen with you, Emily, even though people can't. Man, I don't know, maybe we'll share this video with people, but I'm going to check in on emotional
screenshots at least.
Yeah. Check in on the emotional frequency. So this is for the conscious collab with us. Listening right now. So there's an overarching energy within our emotional aura field. There's a lot of things that are popping up. And so when we see things that are negatives within our emotional aura field, so an aura is the energy around us. It's, the energy that exudes around us, those frequencies. So when we have something that's positive or negative, in a negative sense, there could be like a hole in your aura. If you imagine like a bubble around all people, and there's like a hole or permeation that's caused by stress, there's a leak in your energy. But if there is a positive, that's like an attraction of energy. So what this system that I'm running right now is checking in what is the overall issue that we need to address, and then the underlying issues, and it will be resolved for us. So some of the things that are coming up is a need to access knight in shining armor or chivalry within yourself, because only you can rescue you. And then underlying that issues that are causing some leaks are insecurities, saying I am powerless, needing to access a sense of life purpose. And I think that's what we're finding in our collective, Emily. Our people are drawn to us because they're like, what is my life purpose? Who am I to be doing such and such? And so there's a lot of this. There are a lot of people attracted into the Conscious Collaboration Collective. They're doing the deep healing work. They're on like a very pointed journey. They are living with intention. And so I can see a lot of these really, really coming up, and they're showing up in this list. So there's, so there's someone's virginity stolen by someone. There's needing to access inspiration, a negative trait of rationalizing, passive aggression, quickly learn the lesson to lessen the mistake. So that's a negative trait to do that. So wanting to quickly learn that lesson. And then being envious. So we're going to resolve these as we're working through, and it just takes 5 minutes. And I know your favorite too is to work on the chakras. We can do that too.
The chakras.
Yeah. So while everybody's listening, it's helpful if you have a goal in mind, an intention that you want to set, and write it down on a piece of paper. And definitely make sure that you are fully hydrated so that you can receive this energy better. And
this technology, just to let people know, is part of Lisa and my process that we are finalizing creation of our mind body alignment process. This is the energetic and emotional alignment portion of that process. So we've also done another episode about that. So listen up for that and look out for stuff about that in our Conscious Collaboration Collective Facebook group.
Yeah, I'm so excited. And so this is something I'm going to start running. It is going to be working on the aura levels. So there's going to be addressed 16 aura levels in this scanner to help bringing everybody into better alignment. So it's going to be assessing and clearing and then recalibrating. And it's working from the very bottom physical aura level through the Taji pole, root chakras, sacral, navel, heart, throat, third eye, crown chakra, up to the etheric, emotional, mental, astral, and then up in the upper realms, template, celestial, and causal. So there's a lot of deep work being done here. I really want to make sure that you're hydrated because our bodies are mostly made of water, and this is the way that we carry energy. So you want to make sure that you're not feeling depleted or dehydrated at this time so you can receive the energy best. And keeping in mind your intention that you may have written down on your paper as well. So I know you like this, Emily, mostly for the visual aspect of it, but it's fascinating. But so in the visual of it, you can see like bars and bars that are moving across the screen and all the different colors of the chakras. And it's what it's showing are the percent values of the energies within each channel. And then they're being cleaned and then recalibrated so that everything is fully aligned into their best energetic level. Now, it doesn't need to be 100%. Everybody has their own best 100% that they operate at. So we don't get stuck on any number. This is doing the right amount of work. So some people say that they feel or they experience some different things while we're running the software in different groups or client situations or within the YouTube channel. It's a personal experience. I think this is the first time that we've done it on a podcast. So
Yeah, it is.
Be interested to hear people's experience after listening. What is your favorite part about doing this, Emily?
What is my favorite part about doing it? I think it feels cool, honestly.
Mm-hmm. You're very
sensitive. We kind of talked about this in another episode too, but I can feel the energy lightening up whenever you do this for me, for sure. Like it's just kind of clearing out excess and unneeded energy gunk.
Mm-hmm.
I like how you talked about hydrating as well. In talking about our combination mind-body alignment and the fascia based work's role in that. Fascia, like, the rest of our body is up to 75% water. And so it functions much better as, that helper of the way our bodies move and feel. And as that tangible sort of mind-body connection, it functions much better when it's hydrated.
Yeah, you were telling me the other day, it's kind of like, think of it as like a sponge, right?
When you're doing, when you're doing manual pressure on yourself for any reason, you want to think of the amount of pressure as just enough to like move water into a dehydrated part of a sponge, rather than trying to just crank it so hard that you actually damage the tissue.
Yeah, why did that come up? I was saying like I had knots.
And I was doing some self-release for a spot I had on the back of my shoulder, and update on that, by the way, I continued to do that fascia-based release on the front of my chest and shoulder where I suspected any elements of tightness that needed to be released would be. And then I did a bunch, like hundreds of really, really light rows and pull downs. And that pain is almost gone.
Ooh, that's exciting. Yeah. Because I don't hear you complaining about pain really very often, but you're like, this is just annoying.
Yeah. Had a
yeah.
little nerve pinching thing going on the back of my shoulder. I think it was just from sleeping funny, but yeah, I got out my old toolbox that I use on everybody else, and I'm like, all right, we can fix this. What's really going on?
Yeah, I like that.
If you get to the root of the problem and release in the correct places and stabilize in the correct places, you can make a big difference. Yay.
Yes. So yeah, I think you were also telling me, like I was saying, that I had like these knots in my neck or my shoulders, and you're like, well, they're not really knots. Like, don't think of them as like something that needs to be like crushed up or like broken up.
Right. And I think, and that's not to detract from anyone's methods or education or training or anything like that, but I just don't look at tissue issues as knots, because physically that's not really what is happening. It's, you can think of it as more kind of like that tissue is like dehydrated and kind of sticking together and restricted. But you don't need to mash it.
No. Okay. Well, that's good. I mean, we don't always need to mash everything. It can be done in gentle
mashing
ways.
Things is fun, but chill out. Be cool.
So, be cool, guys.
Be cool.
So as a part of resolving the emotional aura frequency, the software will generate a random words of wisdom that are empowering and maybe speaking to you in some way. Now, these words of wisdom that are generated, they come from various sources, whether it be poetry or just random words associated together, books, resources, and this one that generated. So if you keep in mind our intention, what do we need to know today to help us get through this Mercury in retrograde, or this like this turbulent time in our lives, whatever that may be.
Pretty direct, we'll say.
Yeah. So the words of wisdom that generated sounds like might be someone had said, in regards to addictions, run to Jesus instead of running to your addictions.
So when things get crazy during Merc retrograde, put the bottle down, or, whatever you're.
Return to yourself.
And it doesn't have to be Jesus, obviously. It can be Jesus. Jesus is pretty cool, but whatever your spiritual connection, however you kind of view that.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of times when we want to avoid bad things, we resort to our addictions.
Yeah.
So during Mercury in retrograde, instead of dealing with things that are unraveling, or people falling off of Zoom calls, and then you have to they take over their position or whatever it may be. Your addiction may be to distract yourself or
Instagram.
Yeah, or go exactly. Whatever that may be. Instead of that, return to your highest self. Go inward.
Scroll the Holy Bible.
Whatever you need to do. Don't run to your addiction. Put down the wine bottle.
Put it down.
Put down the Instagram reels. And I'm talking to us when I say
that.
And
it's, I'm kind of laughing about it, but it's true. And us as air signs, I know we're notorious for escapism.
Right. That's the word I was looking for. Escapism, like looking for something to divert us.
And it could even, I try to these days have my escape tools to be something a little bit more wholesome, like going on a walk or something. And that's cool. But, it's like not running away from your problems and trying to fill a void with something external.
So those words of wisdom, generally, I will advise that people, think about what it means to them, and it can change. You can change out any of the words, or it might remind you of something that someone said It helps to write it down. I like to write things down 9 times or repeat them 9 times. And the reason why I do that is the number 9 in feng shui, it symbolizes completion. The completion of a cycle is something that happens before the beginning of energy can happen again. And that's a great state to be in when you have resolve. And so it's a very, I don't like to use the word lucky, but it's a good sign. It's a good place to be when you're in the energy of 9. So if you can write it down, repeat it 9 times, really let it integrate in with your energy. It's a way of reprogramming in a way. We know that words carry an energy as well. And those frequencies can impact our mental, how we're perceiving things. There's been studies done on how water crystals form under different words, or spoken words or written words, as well as plants growing under certain words, music, so on and so forth. So think about what those words may mean to you. Addictions, instead of running towards your addictions, run to Jesus, run to your higher self, run to something, your inner knowing. So yeah, and I want to leave everybody today just with some installation of some energies to help carry you through your week as you're surviving with, like, newly calibrated energy coming through this Mercury in retrograde, the conscious collab. So I'll leave everybody with the energy of abundance. And this is something that I'm programming into my energy tool here, the SRC for you. It's called a supercharger. And it's allowing me to send you energetic imprints that will be charging. And they're all coming from a great intention. So with abundance, we'll send everybody, and prosperity, because I know there's been some blockages out there with this Mercury in retrograde happening. Receptivity, clarity. What other things are coming to mind, Emily? So we were talking about keeping still, that going within, the inner knowing, endurance.
Yeah.
Endurance.
Yeah. I mean, that hits the nail on the head for me. Stillness in chaos, thriving in chaos.
Yes.
That's kind of a theme of my life.
Yeah.
But it can be especially enhanced in a Mercury retrograde where the whole world has enhanced chaos.
Yeah. It isn't it wild too that now even CNN is writing and talking about Mercury in retrograde, and like maybe it should be a calendar holiday that people take off from
the entire month off work. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if, I think that should be suggested. Who makes those decisions? Probably Amazon makes those types of decisions.
Right. Let's write them a strongly worded letter.
Yes.
After Mercury retrograde.
We know that you own all of corporate America. We demand time off during Mercury in retrograde. Everybody needs that.
That wouldn't work so well for us entrepreneurs, though, would it? It's kind of a lost cause.
No. So, well, I'm excited to share this process with people as we're working towards our conscious collaboration together. And we'll have to come up with a name. Maybe we should vote on it within the Facebook group. But definitely, too, I'd love people to jump on into the Facebook group, the Conscious Collaboration Collective, and share with us what has been your experience during this Mercury in retrograde. I'm going to start a post in there and hear what people have to say. And I mean, is it something that's made up? Is it something that's just psychological, self-fulfilling prophecy? But also, I'd love to hear your thoughts on, has today's session and energy upgrade sample, has it helped to bring any clarity to what you're experiencing in your life? Do you see the importance in keeping still and endurance at this time, and understand and have an application within your life and how to do that? Spending this time with us. And do you feel any different from the emotional frequency calibration. Did any of those words we spoke about resonate with you? We would love to know. And it always blows me away when I read the words. I'm like, who's spying on me? It's always something I heard someone say. It could be something that you hear in a song, a commercial, or a friend has said to you on the telephone. But it's pretty wild. There's more things that unite everybody than that make us different, right?
A show.
Well, did I leave anything out, Emily?
I don't think so. I think you got it covered, Lisa.
Righto.
Righto.
Gosh, how can we get Will Ferrell coming in on the conscious collaboration in character?
Yeah. Anchorman
style. That's what I want to bring.
That. He can teach us how to warm up our voices.
Oh, yes. That would be a dream come true.
If you want to be entertained.
Do you want to recap the scene for people? Maybe
no.
Oh, gosh, go check out the movie for yourself if you want to know what we're talking about. All right, Emily, well, it's been fun. And everyone listening to us, thanks so much for stopping by. We hope this helped you in some way face whatever is going on in your mind, body, or business. And we look forward to talking to you soon. Connect with us in all the channels. Drop us a DM. Write us an email. You can find us at The Conscious Collaboration on Instagram and on Facebook.
Conscious Collaboration Podcast.
Oh, thank you. All right. Well, we will talk to you in 5.
Bye, guys.
Thank y'all so much for listening to our podcast. If you haven't yet, please be sure to subscribe, rate, review, and share with all your friends so they can join our circle of collaboration on this journey. You can find us on Instagram at Conscious Collaboration Podcast, on Spotify, iTunes, and Audible, to name a few. Please join us next time for another deep dive into how you can live life in more alignment, mind, body, and business. Send us your questions and comments in our DMs or email us at consciouscollaborationpodcast@gmail.com. See you in 5 minutes.